What do you remember about the 2004 Patriots?
And the Patriots are world champions again.
After winning 2 championships in 3 seasons, the Patriots' 3rd Super Bowl win in 2004 cemented their place as the NFL's dynasty of the new millennium.
Back-to-back world championships, 3 out of 4.
Now, 20 years later, we're going back for our 3rd and final chapter to recapture how the greatest Patriots team of the 2000s came together and reigned supreme.
Yes, it's a dynasty.
This is a Patriots Super Bowl sound odyssey. Yes, it's a dynasty. Episode 3, The Road Through the AFC.
Let's go!
After completing a 14-2 regular season, the Patriots took their bye week to rest up for another playoff run.
These opportunities don't come along very often. It's almost like, what's the price you would pay for the success? I mean, what would you give up to win this game? I mean, would you give up a week of not doing anything but preparing for football? You know, I would, and I do.
In the meantime, offensive coordinator Charlie Weis accepted an offer to become the next head coach of Notre Dame.
As the new head coaches at Notre Dame, Charlie Weis returning to their alma mater.
While defensive coordinator Romeo Crennel was in line to take over the Cleveland Browns.
The newly led Romeo Crennel Cleveland Browns.
Change was inevitable, setting up one final run for an elite coaching staff that was ready to close out their Patriots' careers the right way. Matt Patricia, offensive assistant.
Honestly, Charlie was, he was probably the best play caller I've ever been around. The way his brain worked and the way he could recall information. We would sit up during games and, I had the sheet upstairs and we'd be on the headsets and he would just be like, all right, Matt, just read me the plays and read me the defense, because I would break the game. We'd have all the information. I'd break the defense down as we go through the game. He's like, just read me the coverages. And I'd be like, all right, play 1, we ran, whatever, ride 134, bogus, and they played cover 4. And he'd be like, got it, next. And I would just read through like 12 plays. And he'd be like, good, got it, no problem. Go make the adjustments, go out and call the next. And it was like, he didn't even blink. It was almost like a photographic memory. It was really amazing to watch him call the game and adjust during the game.
A familiar foe awaited the Patriots after their bye week, as the Indianapolis Colts returned to Foxborough for the 3rd time in 2 seasons.
From inside the Comcast Sports Center at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, this is Gil Santos along with Gino Capoletti and the AFC semifinals, the divisional round, as the Indianapolis Colts and their high-powered offense with Peyton Manning come into Foxborough to try to do something a Colts team has not done since 1995, and that is win a game in Foxborough.
Peyton Manning had set an NFL record with 49 touchdowns, as the Colts boasted the #1 scoring offense in the league, and they just blasted the Denver Broncos 49-24 in the wild card round.
The Colts come in with the nation's media pretty much thinking that they're going to win the ball game based on the last game that they saw, and that was last Sunday when the Colts obliterated Denver by a score of 49-24. Whether or not that happens this afternoon remains to be seen, but they've still got to go through the world champions to get it done.
It was to be the next chapter in the biggest NFL rivalry of the early 2000s.
Scott Pioli, Patriots Director of Player Personnel.
Here's what I do remember. I remember the feeling before the game, because I knew how ready our team was. I knew, Bill and Romeo, and the plan was we were going to try to beat these guys up. And the field, the weather worked in our favor, right?
And the weather is perfect for New England football fans because it's 26 degrees, the wind chill is 15, and it's snowing. It started snowing about an hour ago.
Their team was built for the RCA Dome, which I think is that's what it was still called at the time. We were built to grind it out and punch in the mouth. I mean, the Colts were a tough team, right? They were physically, it's not like they weren't physically tough, but they were built stylistically different. And we were going to approach it differently. And I remember before the game thinking, wow, we've really, this is in our favor. And I think what I also remember was feeling so confident because we had Corey.
Matt Patricia, offensive assistant.
Yeah, well, Scott probably wasn't in gear or pads or calling plays or any of that stuff, so I know he felt good.
Up in the Warren press box.
I know as a coaching staff, we're like, okay, we got to block Freeney, we got to handle the edges. There was a lot of stuff we had to do that week, so it was a little bit more, unnerving than that.
Corey Dillon, University of Washington. And you know what? I'm from Seattle, man. I'm used to those snowy, cold, muddy games. So I knew it was gonna be, we got to do some running.
Cold, blustery, windy, snowy day in Foxborough. What's new? January.
We're gonna be on the ground this game. We're gonna do a lot of running. So, dude, it was after the first initial hit, man, I just settled in and started doing my job, man.
Football players have to make adjustments all the time. They have to make different kinds of adjustments and schemes and techniques and strategy, and they have to do it personally. So if they have to do it weather-wise, they will do it weather-wise.
Ivan Fears, running backs coach.
The only way to beat Peyton Manning was keep his ass on the sideline. If you keep him over there on the sideline, you got a hell of a chance. And when you can pound the ball like that and you can control the clock and you can give our defense the rest and he's over there watching us, you got a hell of a chance. And that's the way we sort of went into it. And Corey knew his job. He knew his responsibility was to pound the ball. And then we were sprinkling the other guys, Kevin and those guys, and, flash it here, flash it there. And he was so freaking good at it. I mean, he was a freaking monster.
Nick Fitzy Stevens, Patriots fan and personality.
We had to beat Peyton last year in the AFC Championship. We had to kick off against Peyton to start the season, to defend it and try to go back-to-back. Now the Pats have to face him in the divisional round as well. I'm not sure if I have any more emotional reserves prepared just in case Peyton Manning finally comes to Gillette and beats Belichick and Brady. Luckily enough for us, Peyton Manning, cold weather, the Foxborough faithful being loud and proud and obnoxious AF. He never really stood a chance.
England doesn't care about our history. All they care about it, because they've been very good at home all year long, and they've kind of had our number. Obviously, we'd like to change it, but it's going to be tough.
Deion Branch, Louisville. Like I said, everything, even playing the Colts in the regular season, now it's just even amplified 100 times. Here it is, Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. It was never the Patriots versus the Colts now.
Hello, friends. Jim Nance, and welcome again to the NFL on CBS. So many irresistible matchups here, beginning with the quarterbacks.
It was always Tom versus Peyton. And we relished in that moment. We loved it. Trust me, I did. Because the only thing I wanted to happen was that make sure Tom Brady, at the end of the day, will be the guy who they're going to talk about. And guess how? Somehow, some way, we win, and they're still trying to figure out, Peyton Manning is still the greatest. Well, at what point is it about the wins, or are we worried about stats? Because we don't focus on the stats, and I know Peyton doesn't either. And Peyton's a great friend of mine. I love Peyton. But he knows it was all about us going out, winning this game, making sure that Tom get his just due. And somehow, someway, it's always still Peyton is still the greatest. Like how? I mean, we beat them at least 5 times.
The Colts have had their problems winning against the Patriots over the years, Gino. The Patriots have beaten the Colts more than any other team in the National Football League, 45 times.
Jim Nagy, Executive Director of the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, it was an awesome rivalry, and it was really because of those two guys. I think the uniqueness of that rivalry was stylistically, those teams were so different. The Colts were built one way, and they were great at it. You had Dallas Clark and Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne and, all those guys. I mean, great. They could throw it around, but they weren't, in my opinion, they weren't really built for those Foxborough games. When we had to go out there and play in the RCA Dome, that was a whole different ball game because they were so good indoors. But you get that team outdoors in January in Foxborough. That's a whole different story.
The Colts might want to make sure they have home field advantage next season if they got to play Tom Brady and the Patriots. Well, why do they say that? It doesn't snow inside the RCA Dome. It's not 72 and perfect like it is in Indianapolis.
Awesome rivalry, some great games, some all-time games. I look back on those times. I mean, that's that Brady Manning thing and the Patriots Colts thing. I mean, that's for that era of the NFL, that was as good as it got.
This big playoff game that I gotta believe the whole country has been waiting to see because of the high-powered, explosive offense of the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning and the outstanding receivers he has right now.
Matt Patricia, offensive assistant.
Here I am again, same place I started this season. I am now in the first playoff game, and I'm standing next to Peyton, and he's throwing. And I remember, again, it started to snow.
Weather is coming in and a little bit on the rainy and snowy side at this point, and a pretty good little wind coming from our left to right.
It started to snow in pregame, and I remember him kind of like looking up, and the snow was coming down, and he's just kind of looking, and that's when I was like, oh, we got it. Like, we're going to be all right here. So, that was definitely real. Our guys, give them credit. I mean, they just played awesome.
And so the Colts And their high-powered offense will start at their own 27-yard line, far hash mark, trying to go from right to left. It'll be interesting to see what the Patriots try to do defensively.
The game was a stalemate through the first quarter, with the two teams trading 5 punts, neither able to cross the 50-yard line.
Bill Belichick, scoreless game, put the points up on the board, right? Wrong. Notre Dame's Charlie Weiss sends in the play. They're going to go for it. 4th and goal, Dillon making it look easy, touchdown, but wait a second, false start on the offensive line. New England have to settle for that field goal, 3-0 lead.
The Patriots opened the scoring with a field goal after the Colts defense held on with a stop inside their own 5-yard line. They nearly got the ball right back on Indy's first play of the next drive, with Mike Vrabel sacking Manning and forcing a fumble.
On 1st and 10, James the lone running back. Dallas Clark is tight to the right. 1st and 10, Peyton Manning and the Colts at their own 34. Hand off to Nolan, play action fake, back to throw to Rush. He gets hit, the ball is loose, it's on the ground, and being picked up by the Colts back at their own 21-yard line. The Patriots causing the fumble on a tremendous rush on Peyton Manning. Mike Vrabel getting up slowly, but what a rush by the Patriots.
The Colts recovered it, but it was enough to force their offense into a 4th straight punt to start the game. Dillon and the Pats offense started to find their stride, with the big back ripping off a 42-yard run that set up another Vinatieri field goal.
Dillon remains the lone running back, with a man on the right wing for the Patriots. Brady on 2nd down and 10, hand off to Dillon, trying to go wide to the right. He's across the 45-50, 45-40, 45-30, right sideline, 25-20, 15 and 10, out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Corey Dillon busting it up the right side, goes for 44 yards, and a Patriot for a first down.
Down 6-0, the Colts started to find a stride of their own with their best drive of the day.
So the Patriots going to have to contend with this offense that seems to be picking up a little steam as the game mounts.
They made it all the way down to the Patriots' 39-yard line when Teddy Bruschi ripped the ball from running back Dominic Rhodes' arms, killing the Colts' drive and showing the championship medal that the Patriots possessed.
On 2nd down and 17, from wide left in motion right comes Wayne. Back to throw is Manning. Fires to the right, caught, and immediately dragged down at the 41. Was Dominic Rhodes, tackled by Teddy Bruschi.
And they recovered
the Patriots have the football. Bruschi ripped it out of his hands. The Patriots
the tackle.
Patriots take over as Teddy Bruschi made the tackle on the completion to Dominic Rhodes, and Bruschi ripped it right out of his hands, and the Patriots have the football at their own 41. They blunt the Indianapolis drive.
Cameras caught Bruschi on the sidelines with the ball, screaming, "They ain't got it."
I think this is what they was looking for. They ain't got it. They ain't got it, baby.
Teddy Bruschi, Arizona.
Yeah, that's really what it meant. It wasn't about the ball, them not having the ball. It was just like they don't understand what we are. You know, they don't understand what we go through, and they can't. They just don't get us. You know, it's just a different mentality of the Colt mentality, the white uniforms, playing on AstroTurf, whatever, not playing on field turf, you know, in a dome, you know, things like that. We really thought they were soft at the time, you know, and just to prove that again was something we wanted to do.
The Patriots couldn't capitalize on the takeaway, and then watched the Colts execute their first scoring drive of the day. With just 2 seconds left before halftime, Mike Vanderjagt cut the lead to 6-3 as the Patriots defense held firm at their own 5-yard line.
The kick is good for Vanderjagt from 23 yards away, and that will be the final play of the first half. From inside the Comcast Sports Center booth at Gillette Stadium, the score at the half: the defending world champion New England Patriots 6, the Indianapolis Colts 3.
In the second half, New England unleashed their record-setting back in a perfect example of why Corey Dillon was brought in.
Ready to hand off to Dillon, turning wide to the right, cuts it upfield. First down across the 45-yard line, driven down, make it at the 42-yard line, but a first down for Corey Dillon. Over to make the tackle for Indianapolis, Josh Williams. Dillon, of course, had a 44-yard run, or 42-yard run in the first half. That one was a 9-yard carry for a first down, and Corey now has 80 yards rushing in his first ever NFL playoff game.
Early in the third quarter, Brady and the Pats executed an epic 15-play, 87-yard drive.
Well, the Patriots had one pass to Christian Fourier, but what a big pass it was, because it gave them the first down when they were back at their own 12-yard line and got them going. Ever since then, it's been run, run, run.
Brady hit Givens for a 5-yard touchdown to extend the lead to 13-3.
Brady back to throw, looks. Now he's going to run with it. Goes to the left. Touchdown! Touchdown to David Givens! Great play by Tom Brady.
You got to know that when he starts looking, he can see the field as well as anyone. And he bolted out of the pocket. He started going up forward towards the line of scrimmage, looking like he might run the football. But no, he sees everything that's going on in that secondary. Found David Gibbons with a little short 10-yard pass and the touchdown that the Patriots so dearly needed to give them the separation that they needed from this Colt team.
After a 5-and-out by the Colts, the Pats offense duplicated their dominance with another long drive, this one lasting 14 plays and eating up over 7 minutes of game clock, taking the game into the fourth quarter with a 1-yard touchdown sneak by Brady.
It is a 1st and goal to go at the Colt 1. Brady quarterback sneak, and he is down, and let's see, gonna unpile. Waiting, touchdown, Tom Brady, quarterback sneak, touchdown.
With just over 7 minutes left, Rodney Harrison forced another Colts fumble that the Patriots recovered.
Now Stokely's in the left slot, Wayne is wide, Harrison to the far side right. Harrison doesn't know what the play is. He's got James in the backfield to his right out of a shotgun. Manning 2nd and 10, direct snap, here's the rush, fires it, is complete to Wayne. He's across the 25-30, and a fumble on the play, recovered by the Patriots. I believe it's Teddy Bruschi on the fumble recovery at the Colt 33-yard line. And wow, what a performance by the world champions.
The offense handed the ball off to Corey Dillon 4 straight times on a drive that didn't end in points, but ate up another 4 minutes of clock.
Scott Pioli, Patriots Director of Player Personnel.
I remember the second half feeling like their offense never got on the field. And with each first down that we got, I was like, okay. Sometimes, the theory was with teams like quick strike, teams like the Colts, and the Chargers and some of those other teams that have really good quarterbacks, and the Steelers, sometimes your best defense is your offense and keeping the other offense off the field. And I know from a time standpoint, we absolutely dominated that game in time of possession.
With 2:59 to go and the Patriots on top 20-3, a brilliant defensive effort by the Patriots this afternoon. A punishing ground game by the Patriots this afternoon. Corey Dillon up close to 140 yards rushing in the game.
The final Colts drive was shut down with the Patriots' third takeaway of the game, an interception by Rodney Harrison, with 12 seconds left that put a final exclamation point on a suffocating win over Indy's high-flying offense.
And it is a first down for Indianapolis with 22 seconds and the clock ticking. Manning trying to get his team into the end zone. The Patriots trying to prevent it. With a 20-3 lead, they would love to be able to hold Manning for no touchdowns. Direct snap to Manning, pump fakes, fires to the right, and it is intercepted in the end zone. And run out of there to the left side by Rodney Harrison. That puts the cap on it with 4 seconds to go. Rodney Harrison intercepts in the end zone. And the Patriots have held the mighty offensive-minded Indianapolis Colts to 3 points. 3 points.
The Patriots were headed back to the AFC Championship after a 20-3 win.
Paul Perillo, Patriots Football Weekly.
Dillon well over 100 yards that day, just controlled the clock, controlled the ball. I want to say that's kind of where the start of the clock killing Corey Dillon, sort of emanated from a dominant performance. The game the year before, in the 03 AFC Championship game, I want to say, was more competitive. Now, it may not have been that much different on the scoreboard, but I think it was more competitive. I don't think that the Colts really ever had a sniff in that divisional round game in 04. The Patriots defense was they were so good, Mike, on both sides of the ball that you almost were surprised when the other team got 2 first downs, in a row. And, Manning, for as much respect as I had for Manning, he had no answers against the Patriots defense with the conditions the way they were. In Indy, he could move the ball and put points on the board, but not in the cold. Not when the Patriots had that 12th man of the weather.
After the game, linebacker Teddy Bruschi reminded everyone of the offseason rule changes implemented by the NFL that many drew a direct correlation to the Patriots' physical playoff win over the Colts in 2003.
We play. That's what we do. We don't talk, we play. You come to Foxborough, it's going to be snowing, it's going to be cold. Come on in here. You want to say all you want? You want to change the rules? Change them. We still play, and we win. That's what we do.
Teddy Bruschi, Arizona.
Yeah, it never comes out until after the game for me, and a lot of our players, because we keep it all inside and we try to handle ourselves with class during the week as best we can, in terms of what we say in the media. But, it's changing rules, Bill Polian not liking the way we play. We play too aggressive. It doesn't like old school football, all of this stuff. And, we had all that inside. Bill did a great job of feeding us bits of motivation about things that were said and all of that stuff, because we motivated ourselves every single week in terms of we had something to prove, because that was always the best motivation. And we always kept this forever in terms of myself, Harrison, Brady, McGinnis, those type of guys, that there was always something to prove. 21 wins in a row, you still got something to prove.
Go ahead, Teddy. How we feel about a playoff victory?
New England was on to the AFC Championship, with the perfect team standing in the way. It was a return to the place where the Patriots' record-setting 21-game win streak had been broken, to face rookie quarterback Ben Roethlisberger and the one-loss Steelers.
No one else believes in you. You really have to believe in yourself. I think from my standpoint, I'm always trying to prove to myself that I'm capable of leading a team to a win. In this case, to beat the best team of football on the road in the most important game of the year.
It's the Patriots and the Steelers for a trip to the Super Bowl.
Nick Fitzy Stevens, Patriots fan and personality.
The Patriots owed Pittsburgh one after the Steelers broke the 21-game winning streak back in the fall. And that game, a 4 o'clock kickoff on CBS, I remember it well. It was a totally lopsided affair. The Steelers ate the Pats' lunch and handed them their empty bag and said, take your winning streak and get out of here. Yins ain't going to like this one today. And it was a humble pie game for sure. But the crazy thing is the Patriots only lost 2 games that year. You would think a 14-2 team would be hosting an AFC championship, but no. They had to go back to Steeltown. They had to go to the place where they thought they were the gold standard of the NFL as a new gold standard was rising, and they had to go through Pittsburgh. It was so perfectly poetic. The one team that knocked off the winning streak, they're 15-1, you're 14-2. You got to go through Pittsburgh. And having watched the Red Sox just have to go through New York to get to their championship, this was perfect.
Power versus power. Tom Brady, youngest QB to ever win a Super Bowl. Roethlisberger trying to be the first rookie QB to ever start a Super Bowl.
Matt Patricia, offensive assistant.
The thing about the Pittsburgh game that no one realizes, and again, so we're getting ready to go play Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, and our guys were pretty dialed in because obviously that's where we broke the streak and the streak lost. So our guys were ready. The practice was intense. You could feel the everything ratcheting up as we were getting closer in the AFC Championship game. Now, we've been in some cold games, but this was one of the coldest. I remember this was one of the coldest games. It was late, it was night, the wind was coming off and all of it. But there was a huge storm coming through the Northeast. And I remember the league, what happened was we actually had to leave early and go to the game early because the league was worried we weren't going to be able to make it to the game because of the weather and the planes and everything. So we wind up all of a sudden, it's like, hey, we got to go now. We got to go tomorrow or whatever it was. So you had to pack everything, get ready to go. We still had a day of practice. And I just remember being snowed in this hotel, which was not a glamorous hotel. And we're in these tiny ballrooms trying to do walkthrough practices and all the rest of it. And it actually probably worked in our favor.
It is cold. It's 12 degrees. The wind chill makes it feel about 0 for kickoff. And it's certainly not going to get any warmer as the evening goes along. So it's going to be a pretty cold night for the players and the fans here in Pittsburgh.
Unlike the first matchup, the Patriots would have key playmakers Corey Dillon and Deion Branch back in the mix.
Corey Dillon, University of Washington. I think I missed that Pittsburgh game too with a hamstring in the regular season.
Yep.
So I didn't play that game as well. And they rumped us pretty good up there. And I know I got some friends up there, Joey Porter and all them. They was talking cash. You know what?
Yep.
They were talking cash. And you know what? Our attitude was like, man, let's beat them down. Let's beat them down. Let's go out there and jump on them early and let them know we're back. We fully loaded. Everybody's up. We're not at a disadvantage, and let's go show them what we got.
Deion Branch, Louisville.
My father and my uncle is the 2 biggest Pittsburgh fans ever. So it really started with those 2 guys. Their biggest thing, hey, we want you to win. I mean, want you to have a good game, but lose. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't mesh. If we lose, then you don't go to the Super Bowl. And both of these jokers like, that'll be cool. I'm fine with it. They are the biggest Super Bowl, the Steelers fans ever, those two guys. But it really started at home with that trash talking.
And I got to tell you, this place, a great venue for football. I've never seen so many of the yellow, terrible towels that I have seen here tonight. I know they were very popular during the Terry Bradshaw, Franco Harris era when they were winning those Super Bowls back in the early 70s. But they had them then, but I have never seen as many as I have seen here tonight.
Nick Fitzy Stevens, Patriots fan and personality.
To just add to the drama, there comes the story of Brady being in bed the night before with 103-degree fever, an IV hooked up in a hotel room with the flu. The night that Tom Brady had the flu and then the next night came out and kicked the Steelers' ass in the AFC Championship became the new reminder for everyone. Hey, I don't care how crappy you feel. Brady had 103-degree fever the night before and then came out and dropped that bomb in Branch's bucket and beat the Steelers. You're showing up to work today. You are going to do your job.
I actually had the flu pretty bad the night before the game, and I was like in slow motion. So I wasn't sure how I was going to play.
Deion Branch, Louisville. Tom was sort of sick that game as well. If I can remember correctly, he had a cold. So we was always talking about the Michael Jordan Game 6 to Utah. So this is Tom thing. Tom Brady is sick, and I'm pretty sure they'll come up with something with that as well.
Teddy Bruschi, Arizona.
It was going to be tough. I think this was the same team that ended the streak, and this was a really good team, and Roethlisberger was young, and their defense was great, and they could almost match our mentality. We're not playing the Colts here, okay? This team would, talk trash in your face, and they'd get right in your face, and we respected that.
We play like we did against the Colts, we'll get killed. Pittsburgh is not the Colts. Things that we did against the Colts, if we tried to do them against the Steelers, it'd be 55-0.
Ivan Fears, running backs coach.
There was a certain calmness about the team. That's what I remember, because I spend most of the time in the locker room. At that time, I was the guy getting them out. I gave them the time to head to the field, the different groups. All right, time for the receivers to go out there. And sitting in the locker room during that whole pregame time, you could just sort of feel, it wasn't crazy energy. It was just sort of feel the calmness. And there was a confidence. You know what I mean? It was just a confidence. It was kind of cool.
Scott Pioli, Patriots Director of Player Personnel.
There's just a sense of like, we're a good football team. We're prepared. We're healthy. If we just do what we're supposed to do, which is no stupid penalties, no bad timing penalties, and don't turn the ball over, we should be okay. And so I also had a sense of calm before the game. But like in every game where I did feel a sense of calm, as soon as the ball's kicked, I feel like I'm going to throw up in my mouth for 3 hours. That's just what this game does to you.
We're looking forward to a very physical game, as we've mentioned throughout the early stages of the broadcast here, and certainly have no reason to doubt that. But now just look at those towels. I've never seen anything like it. Once again, just a great venue. It's AFC Championship football, and you couldn't have two tougher, more physical teams coming out for it.
Patriots wasted little time jumping on the Steelers, with Eugene Wilson picking off Roethlisberger just 3 plays into the game.
3 receivers to the near side right now in motion from right to left. Back to the right comes Heinz Ward. Roethlisberger takes the direct snap, stands in, fires up the field. It is incomplete. Intercepted. It was tipped by Asante Samuel and picked off by Eugene Wilson. He caught it just before it hit the ground.
An end around to Deion Branch picked up 14 yards, enough for an opening field goal that gave New England the 3-0 lead.
Brady on 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 48. In motion right to left comes Daniel Graham. Now sets up on the left to give us to Corey Dillon. Now it's an end around to Deion Branch going to the right, the 45, 40, inside the 35-yard line to about the 34, maybe the 33 goes Deion Branch. They faked the handoff to Dillon coming off left tackle and gave it to Deion Branch on the end around, and he picks up a first down.
Matt Patricia, offensive assistant.
And this is one of those ones where, Charlie very famously, very confident, would get up and he'd go through the openers, like I mentioned, with everybody, and he'd at the board, and I'd write him on the board for him, and he'd be like, all right, play one. Okay, look, this play, we're going to get this. This is a touchdown. All right, second play right here. This play's this is another touchdown. He'd be like 4 plays in. We got like 28 points on the board already, and it was just like, that's how it would go. But then sometimes he'd be right. He'd be like, big play to Dion to start the game.
The Steelers looked to respond on their next drive, moving across midfield on a 16-yard reception by Plaxico Burress.
And coming out of there in motion to the right comes Plaxico Burress. Direct snap to Roethlisberger. Fires complete to Burress. He's across the 45 to midfield to the Patriots' 48-yard line before Eugene Wilson brings him down. Burress, a terrific target at 6'5", 226 pounds. Very big wide receiver, makes the first down reception in a 16-yard play.
The Patriots defense stiffened, setting up a 4th and 1 at New England's 39. But the Steelers felt confident they could pick up with their own tank of a running back, Jerome Bettis.
4th down and less than a yard.
And Roethlisberger is staying in there, so we got to feel like they're going to gamble.
It's an early gamble for Pittsburgh. The Patriots lead it 3-0.
Bettis was not only stopped, but also fumbled.
Double tight ends. Kreider the fullback. Bettis the tailback in the eye. Kreider in motion right. Give to Bettis to the left. Stop.
Whoa.
Stacked up. Stopped short of a first down.
And the ball's loose.
Ball's on the ground, and the Patriots have it. The Patriots have recovered the fumble by Bettis at the Patriot 40-yard line. So they gambled and lost the gamble. Mike Vrabel recovered the fumble. Pittsburgh went on 4th and less than a yard. They stacked up Bettis, and he coughed it up.
Paul Perillo, Patriots Football Weekly.
Yeah, there was a 4th and 1 that Pittsburgh went for in the first half of that game. Ted Johnson, huge play on Jerome Bettis. That was my nod in that game. I felt like the Patriots had sort of declared the game that they were going to be able to score points, and Pittsburgh was going to need to keep up. And I think that's why they went for the 4th down. And again, Teddy J just comes up. That was he was sort of one of those old school inside linebackers, thumper, loved to take on the guards and be physical. He filled that gap. Jerome Bettis was not an easy guy to stop for no gain. They were able to do that, and then the big plays. Brady, just a virtuoso performance by Brady. Deion Branch, you mentioned, was injured in the first game. I don't think I had remembered that he missed that game. Huge game for Deion Branch.
Deion Branch, the only Patriots receiver ever with 2 career 100-yard receiving games in the postseason.
Brady would make the Steelers immediately pay, launching a picture-perfect 60-yard bomb to Branch for the game's first touchdown.
Patriots 1st and 10 at their own 40, leading 3-0. Dillon the lone running back. Wide to the near side left is Branch, Gibbons in the left slot. 2 tight ends to the right. In motion out of the left to the right goes Gibbons. Brady calling signals. Brady play action fake. Back to throw. Time. Shoots it long and deep. Deion Branch. He's got it. And he's gone. Touchdown. Tom Brady launches a 60-yard bomb to Deion Branch. Hit him in stride at the 10. And he just tippy-toed into the end zone.
Just like that, it was 10-0 Pats.
Deion Branch, Louisville.
Throughout that game, we knew it would be a tough game. We were going into a hostile environment. We understand and know that Pittsburgh is a very tough team, especially in the playoffs and at home. And we had to play our best game. And real talk, Matt, that was probably by far one of our best games throughout my whole entire career, including some of the Super Bowl performances. I felt like that game right there, everybody was super dedicated and just bought into this whole game plan. We were super locked in. And knowing that our captain was down, everybody had to pick their game up. Everybody on the team had to pick their game up, and we did that. We did it for the team, we did it for the organization, the city, and primarily for Tom Brady, man.
The Steelers managed a field goal before the first quarter was up, but New England was slowly gathering momentum on both sides of the ball. Brady hit Branch for another big gain, this one 45 yards.
Brady play action fake. Back to throw, steps up into the pocket, shoots it downfield. It's a great leaping catch at the 25-yard line by Patriot Deion Branch.
To help set up another touchdown that made it 17-3.
Branch far side left, Gibbons near side right, 2nd and 5 at the Pittsburgh 9. Brady calling signals. Lone running back is Dillon. Spot pass right, complete to Gibbons, down inside the 10 to the 5 and in. Touchdown, David Gibbons.
Then, on Pittsburgh's next possession, it got even worse for the young Roethlisberger. as Rodney Harrison picked up the defense's second interception of the game and returned it 87 yards for a touchdown.
2nd down and 7 for the Steelers. Kreider goes in motion to the right. Now stops. Roethlisberger's back to throw. The rush fires. It is intercepted. Picked off and heading down the left sideline. That is Patriot defensive back at the 40-yard line of the 45. It's Rodney Harrison. He's to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Rodney Harrison.
Pats took a 24-3 lead to the locker room at halftime and would continue to match a desperate Pittsburgh team throughout the second half.
Tom Brady, 7 of 11, 2 touchdown passes. He has a rating of 145.8, and I don't know that you can go much higher than that. On the other hand, Ben Roethlisberger has completed 5 passes out of 10, and he has 2 interceptions, and he has a rating of 36.2, just to give you an idea of the disparity between these two quarterbacks at this point.
The third quarter Bettis touchdown was offset by a 25-yard touchdown run by Corey Dillon.
Pass the fullback, Dillon the tailback in the eye. 2 tight ends to the right side with Graham on the wing. Near side left branch, handoff to Dillon, trying to turn it to the right. He's inside the 15 to the 10 to the 5 and down and in. Touchdown, standing up, 25 yards, Corey Dillon.
Steelers just couldn't close the gap as the Patriots closed their 5th AFC championship with a 23-yard end around to Branch, the same play Charlie Weiss called to start the game.
3rd and 9 of the Pittsburgh 23. In motion, right to left goes Graham. Dillon, it's an end around. Coming to the other side, it's Deion Branch at the 20. He's at the 15 to the right side of the 10 to the 5 and in. Touchdown! Deion Branch on an end around on 3rd down. Races 23 yards for a touchdown. Put it in the bank. It's gaining interest. The Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl for the 2nd year in a row.
For the 2nd time in 4 seasons, the Patriots were conference champs on Pittsburgh's home field, icing the Steelers 41-27 and punching a ticket back to their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 seasons.
Corey Dillon, University of Washington. My first initial feeling is they used to kick my butt when I played for Cincinnati. So now, hey, payback. I got you. So that was my first thought. Second thought is, man, we just whooped you on the biggest stage in the AFC Championship game. After all that was said, all that was done in the regular season, all the talking, we kind of killed that noise too, and then we're off to the Super Bowl. It gets no better than that. It gets no better than going up to Heinz Field, beating them on their own turf, and earning the berth to the Super Bowl 39.
I don't think you ever take this for granted. I don't think we started this season saying, all right, guys, we're just going to kind of walk to the AFC Championship game and beat a great team to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, it's been a lot of really hard work.
Paul Perillo, Patriots Football Weekly.
The one I always like to talk about, this is when it's sort of Rodney Harrison, Willie McGinnis, these two guys were special. They were not only special players, but they had a special way about them in the locker room of sort of dictating the message every week. And they somehow convinced everybody that no one thought they could win. You mentioned 14-2 on the road to play a 15-1 team at home. And the last time that they played in that stadium, the Steelers really took it to the Patriots. That game was not close. And the Patriots were favored. On the road in the AFC Championship game against a 15-1 team. Yet, Willie McGinnis and Rodney Harrison convinced us all, no one thought we could do this. No one thought we could win. And I said to Willie after the game, I was like, Willie, you guys were favored by 3 in this game. You remember that, right? He goes, yeah, but you guys didn't really think we could win. And I was like, okay. I really honestly don't think there were very many of us that didn't feel the Patriots were going to win that game.
Teddy Bruschi, Arizona.
I think it was the best non-Super Bowl victory I ever had, in terms of going up against a team in their stadium. They had the home field and just still going in there and getting things done when a lot of people didn't think we could. Because I remember how they just beat us up. I think it was close to 2 touchdowns on Halloween. I think it was too. So to go in there and do that and know how we got beat before, it just felt so great. I mean, I was crying, hugging guys that we got it done and we were going to another Super Bowl when you had a chance to go back to back.
Well, how we feel about being AFC champs?
Next time, the Patriots face the Eagles in Super Bowl 39 and secure their place among the NFL's greatest dynasties. Join us for the series finale of the Patriots Super Bowl Sound Odyssey. Yes, it's a dynasty.